Well, good morning. This is 15 Minutes of Politics after the show. My name is Cynthia A. Johnson.
Joyce Moore.
Good morning, family. Good morning, good afternoon. Hi, everybody. We began speaking about the City of Detroit, City County school taxes, fee bills, the property tax bill.
Right, we just started talking about the different assessments that people are assessed every 6 months, which comes to a full year. You get your tax bill, I've forgotten the dates, but I will know that next time. And then you get the other half, I think, starting in January. But the point is that people, we're not really looking at our taxes close enough to know what we're paying taxes for. I mean, here we talk about, 3 times we talk about school debt, school operating, and school judgment. Now, we're paying this, but the schools, we have to question. In the community where I live, a community is based upon an elementary school, a junior high school, and a high school. And we don't have that.
There are, let's break down this property tax bill.
Okay.
The first column is the taxing authority.
Right.
Meaning who receives your money. The second column is the mills or the millage. And every 1 mill is per thousand. So if you're paying if there is a 1 mill, that means $1 per thousand of the value. Is it the state equalized value of your property?
You know, that's a good one. I don't know. I think so. I'll have to find that out. I just picked this up and just I saw this. What I saw was this 1737.24. That's $1,734 that I have to pay for half a year.
6 months.
6 months. Now the other. So what they're doing now is instead of because we're going to elaborate on the taxes for a minute here because we've got the February the 1st. To talk to the assessors to have your property reassessed. But I guess what it is that this is a way to price us out of our homes. So that taxes out of our homes, not prices out, taxes out of our homes by having our taxes so high that we can't afford to stay in the house. So mine will be $3,500.
And these taxes are in some cases, especially in the areas that we're speaking of, are more than what some of the houses are even being sold for or are worth.
Well, what we did is we did an assessment, 4 blocks. We did 4 blocks going north, west, south.
What area are you talking about?
I'm talking about Taylor. I'm on Taylor, Rosa Park 14th. And so all this public information anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
But the point is that we looked at the number of vacant houses in that area. And we looked at the number of people that are living there trying to get, again, home improvements to stay there. So the question is now in my mind becomes if we continue to improve the homes, we'll continue to increase the taxes, which is a way to, again, price us out of where we're living. So, it's just something to reconsider here. I've got to, think about some other things that are affecting the people, the masses of people, I should say, in our community, in our city.
Let us go down the taxing authority, what you are actually paying for.
Right.
There are, for the City of Detroit, we are paying state education,
General City, debt service.
Debt service?
Yeah, what is the debt service? That's what I want to know.
Debt service.
Yeah. And I want to know what goes into the General City, each item. That's a pretty high one. That's $375.
We need to do a lot of research.
Sure, I'm saying I just picked this up and decided to do this. So if anybody else knows anything about it, we can give my number at the end. We can give it now. 313-465-3299. 313-465-3299. Feel free to call me and add to this because I keep telling people that a lot of people we're not ignorant. We're just not informed as to what's going on or the information that's available for us to understand. And all you have to do is ask a question, and you'd be surprised. We've asked 1 or 2 questions, and we've gotten a lot of answers, a lot of feedback, have we not?
But yes, but we ask a lot of questions of those who are responsible for these taxes, and so often we are not given answers, but that's not good enough.
Well,
we have to keep asking and asking, and don't just ask, make sure whoever you talk with, you get a name, a phone number, the time you spoke with the person, the date you spoke with that person, the name of a supervisor, and please don't forget the name of that person that you spoke with, so you can refer back to that person.
Right, and a lot of times, Cynthia, a lot of times when you talk to people at the counter and they give you an answer and it's not the answer you want to hear, a lot of times people will walk away from the counter thinking that that's the only person that they have to talk to. We know better. You've got a supervisor, you got a director, you got whoever. Just start asking for people, and you're going to be surprised that there are people that can make decisions, because that's usually what I'll say to them. If you can't make a decision and help me get me what I want, find me somebody.
Or not what I want, but what I need.
Well, want and need / boy. But my point is, if you can't help me, then find somebody in here that can. So don't just stop at the counter when they give you this no, because they're supposed to.
That's right.
You have to step on a little bit further and try to find out what you want, well, the results of what you want.
And don't be afraid to step on toes.
Oh, we step on feet, toes, legs. I've broken, I'm sure, if you really want to technically speak, I've broken a few legs here, and I'm sure that I have for the $3 million. I know I have for
that $3 million
for the CDBG funds. Like I said, just switching off a little bit here. We talked to Conyers,
Congressman John Conyers.
Right, and we're waiting for a response from his office.
We talked to him, or we left a message for him?
I talked to one of his assistants, and she left a message for him, and they're supposed to get back with this is Thursday, so I'm expecting a response by Monday or Tuesday.
When did you leave the message?
Yesterday, which is Wednesday.
Okay, so we have to give them about 3 days.
Yeah, about 3 days, that's reasonable. 3 days, 3 calls, that's my usual. And so hopefully by Monday or Tuesday I'll get a response in terms of...
What did you call his office for?
It was an inquiry because these are federal funds that are coming to the city of Detroit. And so someone brought up a very good point that if they're federal funds, they were already designated, they are under certain laws, and they cannot be a mortgage / loan. So we're going to check this out a little bit more thoroughly to find out. But like I said, we're contacting state representatives to find out, let them know what's going on here in the city of Detroit.
They know.
Well, they know, but we the people are going to have to pull the pressure here. We're going to have to do the masses again. And so I've contacted, Rosemary C. Robinson's office as state rep. I think she's my state rep.
Is she state rep for State House District 4?
I think
yeah, it is.
For me, right, for me.
Right.
But the point is I've called her 3 times. Now that's my
Did she answer?
Not once. She has not returned.
When did you start calling her?
I started calling her last week. So I'm saying to you, my method of operation is 3 calls, 3 days. And so if you haven't responded, that means you're not interested. So we have to step a little further, a little harder. That's why I say I'm sure I've broken a few legs. And in the meantime, when I'm working on something, but it's not intentional. It's because I know that we should be getting certain results. And if you can't help me get the results that I'm looking for, then we need to step on.
And State Representative Mary Rose.
Rosemary.
Is it Rosemary?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was Rosemary.
Okay, so Rosemary Robinson. We understand that you're busy. We understand that our representatives are busy. But you're not that busy where you or your staff cannot return phone calls. And really, to be perfectly honest with you, staff returning my call, I didn't elect.
Right.
I didn't elect your staff.
Right.
We've elected you. And speaking of representatives who we have called, do you know I've contacted, and I'm very disappointed in Senator Virgil Smith.
Oh yes, okay.
Because I've contacted his office in regards to a request that they do a quote warranto for us. A quo warranto is challenging the seat of a person who has been elected to office. Well, we won't even go off into who I'm referring to, but I've contacted his office, I've attempted to make phone calls. I don't know why the phone number now is not working. And do you know, my contacts have been more than 5 times in about a week, and I've not received one phone call.
And that's back to, because there's so many issues, and there's so many issues that are overlapping. But that's back to us during the time that they're campaigning. It's so strange that they make the time.
Yeah.
Make the time to get that vote. And after they get the vote, they say, well, okay, we got to wait another 2 years. But we as voters, and as residents, we have got to start keeping track of who's doing what. My concern is, since we're deviating from our tax area, because this is going to be an ongoing issue between now and February when we talk about the assessors. Okay, and I'll give the dates on when people can have the reassessment of their property.
Under taxing authority, you have the state education,
Right?
then you have general city,
You have the debt service,
library,
school debt,
school operating,
school judgment.
and Wayne County tax. And then there are underneath there may or may not be some special fees,
Right.
like your,
Solid waste fee. And if you have a 2-family or a single home, a 2-family or any multiple dwelling, there's an additional fee.
right.
Okay.
And so then your second column next to taxing authority would be your mills. And the mills would be what you are assessed per $1,000 of your property. Your state equalized value of your property. Then the third column would be
The tax, the actual amount that you're to pay.
right.
Right. So, I guess the concern is that we receive this tax bill twice a year, this form twice a year. And I think at this point in time, given this an opportunity, and that's what it is that we should actually go over it with the people so they have a better understanding of what it is and what they're paying taxes for. As far as I'm concerned, like I said before, in the community where I'm living, $3,000 for property taxes is extremely high, which is why
Actually, it's more than actually more than 3,000.
17, 34,000, close to, $3,400 some odd dollars. But the point is that given February, we're going to find out the exact date in February, the exact location in February. You can have a reassessment of the property, which is what I'm going to do. And then if that doesn't work, I found that also, because I've gone to the Michigan Tribunal, that's a court, that's the next step to have your tax.
Court, what do you mean?
Well, I have to go through it and get the total understanding. I get it step by step. What I did is, when I did not like what the city of Detroit gave me, then I went to the state, and the state has a tribunal where you can submit a claim or property tax and say I object to this.
But is that tribunal? Is that a tribunal a party of one, or is it how many people?
I cannot remember. Like I said, this happened years and years ago. This was something we sporadically came up with when I saw this amount of money. So now we have to do a little research, and our research is pretty accurate. And so what we're going to do is find out, first of all, for February, upcoming February, that'll be the first thing, is for you to reassess. If you're not in agreement with the property taxes, then you reassess them. There is a deadline. Most importantly, you have to understand that
I think there was, 15 days?
Well, I think you're going to have 2 assessments in February. I just got to find out the exact date, and if you miss those dates, then you're lost. So then you have to go to the Michigan Tribunal, which is the state of Michigan Tribunal, and talk to them. And so I'll find out all the details of this, and before we go on this again. That's all. Yeah, we should.
So it's very important, family, that we check out do our due diligence. That's a word, that's a term that they started using, due diligence. Every time I hear that word or that phrase, I'm thinking, okay, here is another word or term that they're using.
Right.
But you do your research.
Absolutely, and that's what we have to get you to do too. You know, although we're trying to provide this information to you, you have to take the initiative yourself. This is your house. And if they come up with $3,000 in taxes, you better question it. If they come up with $2,000 and you're the only person on the block, you should question it. So although we're providing you with information, we're also saying that as homeowners, you have to do your own research for your property.
That's right. That's right. And you're not only working and doing this for yourself, you're actually, if enough of us do it, we are making and holding our elected officials accountable.
Absolutely.
And that's what we were talking about also.
Right. We sort of drifted to this. You know, there's so much going on in the city of Detroit. We talked about elected officials. We talked about them during the election time. You know, they're in your face 24/7. But as soon as they get elected, you can't contact them. When you contact them, like I said, 3 phone calls, mine 3 phone calls, and 3 letters. And if I don't get a response within 3 days of a phone call, then I know that they don't really have my interest at heart. So I'm saying that we have to be very conscious of the people that we elect, and we've got to let them know that we're going to start holding them more accountable. And the only way to do that is to start organizing. If you've got block clubs, form block club and communicate with the other block clubs.
That's right.
So that way it doesn't seem like.
And that's interesting that you say that too, Joyce, because I was just thinking, you know, here's another sort of like a colleague down the line on the radio dial, like 1200 AM, and I was listening to her show yesterday. And she was speaking on something that we've already dealt with, and that is the 5 things that the media won't tell you in regards to the bankruptcy in the city of Detroit. And she was right on the money. And I was just thinking, so much is going on in the city of Detroit. And instead of us fighting one another, we have to work with one another, because they are working so hard.
Absolutely.
To get us to fight against one another. And I call a truce with Mildred Gaddis. It's well past time that, since we are many times on the same page about a lot of things, we can disagree. But at this point right now, what is going on in our city against the people of color.
But not only that, you know, the point is that so many like us have been here. We have struggled to be here. We've had the employees that have struggled to be here, and you know, residency is another issue. That have stayed in this city, fought to keep this city, taxes off the hilt, and taxes being raised still, and now. You know, we're still fighting. And
we're fighting one against one another. And guess what? They love that. And who is the they? It's not, it's corporations, it's individuals.
People make great investments, great millions of dollars of investments in the city. Those are the people that are basically fighting.
And it's really shameful when you see that our people and our city we've been pillaged, we have been hoodwinked, and it's so sad that some of the same people who we hired, who we elected to represent us, are really not representing us.
As masses, yeah.
They're representing the corporations.
Right, their interests. So again, you know, this is wonderful, like I said, that we're in a position, and I said it before, we're in a position to inform people, teach people, educate people, let them know what's going on. You know, there's so many issues that we're going to have to try to stay focused on one issue at a time.
Yeah, I know.
And give you information, detailed information on one issue at a time, and take it from that. Even though the property tax came up, we've got a couple of months on that. We're still going to do some research on that. But we have to stay focused on the other two issues that we talked about before.
Which are?
One of them was the community development block grant funds. Like I said, although we had 88 houses, vacant houses where we live, there were over 30 people that had...
Within what boundaries?
Okay, wait a minute. Let me go back. Where I live, I'm living on Taylor. We have a block club. We have now a coalition of blocks. See how we started with 1 or 2 people and we started getting more interest. But the point is that...
How many blocks are we talking about? These 88 abandoned?
Okay.
How long?
When we first started, we started with my block, Taylor Street. I wanted to be blocked up.
Between what?
Rosa Park and 14th, 1 block.
Okay.
Then it expanded from Rosa Park West Side to Linwood, and then we took Claremont to
The Boulevard?
and Gladstone.
Oh, okay.
So we only took 4 blocks, 4 streets. So we're going to stress Rosa Parks from the west side to Linwood, and then we took Claremont, the south side, to Gladstone.
How many blocks though?
Okay, but you're looking
What is that?
at about 5, 10, 15, 20 blocks.
And so you're saying that there's about 88 homes.
Okay, 88 vacant properties in that time.
Mm.
But you have to understand about 25 houses is on each block, it used to be. But my focus was so I was really a little upset and down about that. But then I'm still amazed at the people like myself who are still fighting tooth and nail to hold on to our community. We're holding on and we're asking that, no, I don't want to say demanding, but if there's any monies available there and we're entitled to it, I'm saying we should get it.
Why should we beg for anything? We shouldn't have to beg for anything.
That's what we're doing.
Those monies are actually available, are supposed to be available to the people.
Right.
Those funds
Right.
for low
To moderate.
to moderate income
residents, homeowners, and so that's where my heart was at that time. It still is. So we started
that fight,
Right.
that issue. That's one issue.
That's right.
What's the second issue?
Then we started talking about our elected officials, how they should be accountable, how they are being put in a position to represent the masses, and they're not. So that's weird. Then we came up with taxes. So this is going to be a little more detailed, but it's going to take a little time. But I'm definitely going to have some more information about it, especially before the assessment. Because if you don't agree to your tax bill, you have an opportunity to ask for your properties to be reassessed.
So that's it. That's the after the show, after the 15 minutes of politics with Cynthia A. Johnson and Miss Joyce Moore. And of course, our wonderful videographer who is Tanya Britt. She's always here to help out. She's here technically every Thursday. We're going to try and see if we can get her here on Tuesdays as well. And we have Stand Up Now with Cynthia A. Johnson and Miss Joyce Moore. So that's it. And we hope to see you next Thursday, same time, from 11 to 11:15. And then, of course, we have the after the show, after the 15 minutes of politics. And we thank you so much for being here, for listening.
Thank you.
And God bless you. I'm Cynthia A. Johnson.
Joyce Moore.
And this is Joyce Moore. God bless.